So I was speaking to Michael just today, and he was really intrigued as to what I love about art. And I sat in silence for probably about 30 seconds because I was never asked that question before. And two words then came to mind. And those two words were process and innovation. So I believe art allows for me to explore and examine large capacities and potentials of the human brain. So every painting I create is an unknown process. It becomes an adventure, and I never limit myself to what I'm going to paint in that particular setting. So art teaches us to be observationally smart, not lazy. In this day and age, I think we're learning to adapt to become such an observationally lazy society. And this may be partly attributed to the fact that everything is within such a close proximity of us. Information is given up to us readily made. We no longer have to interpret. We no longer have to have an opinion. It's just handed to us, whereas art is probably the most oldest and the most basic form of communication that you need to have an opinion on, that you need to question. You need to translate it. You need to add thoughts. And so I want people to learn to ask more questions again, question the status quo. And I truly believe art teaches us to do this. So there are no words more than often, and you need to question your interpretation. You need to discuss. You need to be open to new ideas and prospects, discussing with your peers. And by that, I love the thought process that art triggers ultimately. So on the flip side to this, we're probably the most educated society that has ever lived in terms of technology. So we have access to so many amazing things: podcasts, social media, new media, short courses online. This all teaches us really great information, and I'm all for learning. But we've become professional rote learners ultimately. We hold all this amazing information that we've never held before, we've never had access to before. Yet we have no idea what to do with it. We can repeat everything that we've heard on a podcast. We can repeat everything that we've read in a book, but we don't know what to do with it. Like, we can't add a personal touch anymore. We don't know how to add our opinion anymore. I want people to become opinionated again. I truly think this can largely stem from observation. Through observation, it teaches introspection. Introspection is so important. It teaches self-expression. It teaches perspective, thoughts, emotions, and ultimately how to ask questions, what kind of questions to ask. No question is ever stupid. No question is ever wrong. And I truly believe art is one of the few remaining places where we as individuals can approach issues with a level of ambiguity on a spectrum of ideas and emotions that are otherwise maybe not okay to express. And so through that, like we've spoken about innovation, what is creativity? So I'm not going to go to a dictionary definition, but in my opinion, to me, creativity is a force. It is love. It is power. It is a huge energy that flows through me that I can't see or feel, but I know it's there. So it's very individual. It is very subjective, and it can create a shift in perspective. I can see things in a new light. From a new perspective, with newly acquired thoughts. And there's a great saying that goes, what you see changes what you know, and what you know changes what you see. I love that saying. So I honestly believe art is one of the most pure expressions of the human mind. So it's very organic, it's very natural, it's very honest. And because of this, it has the potential to have a significant impact on its viewers if the viewers will allow for that to happen. So my process is generally no process, and I take inspiration from everyday situations. So it can depend on my environment, who I'm with, my mood, my feelings, my thoughts, emotions, etc., experiences that day. And because my process is so spontaneous, it generally means I'm not a mule to my process. So by that I mean I don't have to labor to create something. I don't have to barrel through it awkwardly. I just generally brush up against an idea, and that comes to me through my external environment. So the ideas find me, they chase me, they grab me, and then it's up to me to put them on paper. So I act as a translator or a mediator. So inspiration to me is extremely elusive. It's extremely tantalizing, often very spontaneous, and it doesn't always come at the most opportune moments. It could come from materials around me, a certain environment, my pet dog, the saucepan I burnt trying to cook dinner. It happens every night, so that wouldn't surprise me. So because of this non-process, I've never fell into that pit of despair that many artistic types talk about and they sing about, or, you know, they express. So, you know, that pit of despair that nothing's coming, I can't think of anything to paint, because I record my thoughts, my feelings in artistic form when they come, and I stop when it stops. So because of that, the process itself is quite cathartic. It's extremely relaxing. It's extremely soothing. And it's extremely, just ultimately very, very enjoyable. So I nearly always arrive at an unknown destination. So I don't know what my end piece is going to look like. And I look at it at the end and I'm like, this is really cool. I didn't know I could create that. And then I go back in my mind, the adventure that I went through to create that piece. And I nearly always get this extremely high sense, like this adrenaline rush, because it excites me so much. And I just love the process. And I love the thought that is triggered to come to that end piece. And so at the end, it's usually a little present to myself, like saying, look what you just did, Nick. And I absolutely love it. So I hope you enjoy my vlog. There'll probably be about 5, just to kind of go through my artistic process, my thoughts, feelings, emotions as I create a piece. I will be filmed on a GoPro and time-lapse, which will be pretty cool. So it will be filmed and displayed alongside my new art pieces at the Harvard Gallery in America and the Art Gallery of New South Wales in Sydney. So I hope you guys really enjoy it and that you are triggered and inspired and have some cool opinions on my pieces, and they're very much welcome. And yeah, absolutely enjoy. Thank you so much for listening.